Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of So What's Been Happening. This one is episode 205 featuring Razorburn. So we're going to catch up with Ethan shortly. Just before we do, we're going to have a quick look at a few gigs coming up, which there is a truckload, to be perfectly honest. It's a very busy time right now in Melbourne, which is really cool. So this one for Thursday night, Grim Rhythm, Rub and Dad Fight, headlined by Frenzy. So Frenzy are going to be on the show in a few weeks' time, which is really exciting. So get to chat to them, who've just been announced as a support for Foo Fighters in November, which is very cool indeed, as it always is. All right, Mood Spill as well on Thursday night. That one's at the Punters Club. So Frenzy, was at Shock Kickers, just so you can check that one out. Jazz Party is a Not Human single launch. So that's at Howler on Friday night. Special guest for Velvet Bloom, who's been on the show, and Esther Henderson. So make sure you get out and check that one out as well. Friday, another one for you down at Mimo. Ashley Naylor, one of our great friends on the show, launching another special edition of the Spaceship. So make sure you try and get along to that one. Drag some friends along to that one. Flipping the Bird, probably one of the biggest festivals out there at the moment, down Frankston Way. King Parrot, Private Function, and Bean Flipper, Civic. There's plenty of bands. There's a massive day planned. So that one's sold out, but please look on Tixel, because there's plenty of tickets always kind of floating in amongst that. Couple more for you. This one on Saturday as well, for the Mind Your Language at Yorkshire Stingo. Also celebrating Crispy from PBS's birthday at this one. So Ice Cream Hands headlining, Simon Jouliffe, Love Me and the Drop Tails. So try and get to see as many as you can this week. And then the Sydney Road Street Party is well underway, but there's multiple venues kind of getting things going. So get down that way, and there's so much on. But this one in particular at Brunswick Ballroom with the Meanies, headlining, but also some of the hottest bands around at the moment. Public Figures have just released an EP this week or last week. Fenn Wilson's also on that one. Grace Mitchell, Dad Fight again. So, and the classic Secret Act. What is the Secret Act? You may know, or check it out anyway. But also out in the street, this one's at the Retreat, another part of Sydney Road Festival. So Frenzy once again, Hot Machine, Brown Spirits, Ramona Sky, to name a few. So get along to that one. There is no excuse why you're not out there seeing bands right now. There's lots of free gigs, which is really cool. Please don't just go there as a free gig. Please try and support the band as much as you can. Buy some merch, or just keep the pubs full by buying soft drink, beer, food, whatever you can do. Drag a friend along as well. But tonight, it's all about Razorburn. So exciting lineup, in the heavier side of things of rock, which is really cool. Original, even better. So it ticks all the boxes for me. So let's bring Ethan up and have a chat.
How's it going?
G'day, Ethan. Good, mate. Welcome. And to episode, what are we up to? 205 of So What's Been Happening.
Yeah. It's exciting to be here.
Yeah, it sure is. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today, and thanks to Alley Oop Management for kind of connecting the dots in amongst this. Thanks for everything you do for music, Alley, in an important time. Okay, well, let's kick it off, mate. I'm going to give you a quick curly one to start with. Is what's one of the last kind of songs or albums you've been listening to in the last couple of days?
A song I'll pick a song that I've gone back to last couple of days that came out late last year. Really been feeling at the moment. Walk the Line by Cog, their newest track, that single.
Very cool. And what is it about them in particular, or that particular song? What do you love? What's connecting?
Just their ability to create atmospheric music that you connect with the environment and the energy around you, as opposed to like it just being a song. They just have this ability to be able to build a whole energy that just surrounds you with their music. It's been pretty good.
Very nice to hear. All right. We're going to probably just set the scene a little bit with a track for
Yep.
you. We'll play a bit of, not all of, but we're going to play some of. This one's Give 'em Hell. This will set the scene nicely.
Good one.
There you go. Get into that one. Give 'em hell. Talk about one of the fitting songs for tonight. It's just been absolutely pissing rain down in Melbourne. The storm's been well and truly amongst us on the back of some hot weather. Mate, that one's a killer opener. Tell us a bit about it.
So that is a track that I wrote in the middle of the album when I was writing the lyrics and the vocals for it. I was feeling a bit uninspired at the time. Sorry. I was feeling a bit uninspired at the time. And I was like, I need to like kick my lyric writing into gear. I want to feel passion. I want to feel inspired. This track was the track to do it on. And so I thought about what one of my all-time favorite quotes was, and it was from Bukowski, and it's a bastardized takeoff of his, what matters most in life is how well you walk through fire. So
yeah, nice. There's a few big lines in there too, which is pretty powerful. Tell us a bit about the band, most importantly. The people that can't see this visually, let's tell us a little bit about kind of what this band consists of.
All good. We are a 5-piece band, so you got me on the lead vocals, doing a lot of the vocals. We have Luke, who's written most of the music for the album. He's done basically all the musical tracks and whatnot. And so I met him online, but he's the rhythm guitarist. And then we have Shannon, who's our lead guitarist. He's stepped in and helped us with that and doing some backing vocals. We have Gav on bass, and the stand-up legendary drummer Neil, who does an amazing job. So
very nice. You've given everyone a good rap there. boys will be very proud. Um, and let's just for the people that seeing the visuals, let's just show a couple of shots of the band in action here.
Yep.
Some big moments, big guitars, big sound. You can almost feel it just by looking at the pictures, which is really nice. So, how long you been together as a band, and was it always a 5-piece?
So as I said, I met Luke online last year. No, it might have been the year before now, about August 2024, I think. He reached out looking for a vocalist that was in the style he described as Rise Against Foo Fighters. I do a Foo Fighters tribute. Rise Against my favorite band. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm here. He sent me through some tracks. I'm like, yep, this sounds pretty good. So I recorded them, sent them back to him. And then we really liked the feel. And we're like, oh, like we should put a band together and play this live. But the only kind of barrier we had at the start is the fact that I actually don't live in Melbourne. The rest of the band are all in Melbourne.
Yep.
I actually live up in Orange, New South Wales. So
cool. Tell me about those challenges, mate. Working remotely, so to speak, of being away from the band. It's a little bit different now with the ability for online processing and the ability to shoot tracks around a little bit. I think COVID really opened those doors. I mean, it was happening before then, but I think it's become kind of the norm. So, how do you go about it really? Is it different kind of for most tracks, or do you have kind of the same way you work now as you're writing these songs?
As we've written the album and as we've written these songs, we've come into a nice flow, I think. Luke's got all the tracks there ready to go. He sends them to me. I spend a bit of time doing lyrics and vocals. I record them in my lounge room. I send them back. Took us a little bit of time to find the right producer, like mixing, mastering for the tracks, but we found a guy last year who's done an incredible job on the album. There were some songs I was like, oh, this is probably going to be a bit of a throwaway, and he's pulled them off, and I was like, wow, okay, that was awesome. So everything's come together quite nice. I think the main barrier we have now is that I can't attend all the rehearsals because of the distance. But we're definitely in amongst getting on top of that and like getting some in-ear monitors and whatnot, so we are all on the same page and just really coming together. Each gig we're playing better and better.
Good, great to hear. All right, let's move to Polarity. Here it is.
Yep.
All right, get that one down your gullet, to use a
Yeah,
term.
yeah,
Polarity, mate. Talk to me about it's obviously one that's gaining a bit of attention, for
yeah.
sure. One you're obviously proud of, mate. Just talk to us a bit about the mood that kind of inspired Polarity.
Um, it just had a really catchy hook instrumentally, like
Mm,
from the get go, and I kind of wanted to match that energy, match that hooky, like capturing energy.
mm,
The song was originally released under a different vocalist that Luke had before I jumped on board.
yep,
It was the one track that Razorburn actually had out before this all came together as it has now.
sure.
It was called Nosebleed then, and I gave that track a listen once, and then I had to like completely forget about it so I could write my own stuff over the top of it.
Yeah,
Um, but I really kind of wanted to reflect. A few years back, I was actually diagnosed with borderline personality structural disorder. So it's not quite borderline personality disorder, but
yep,
it's just like one little vague element thing. And I kind of wanted to discuss that. So polarity is about the ability to be able to hold two different truths at the same time and have two different lots of thoughts being able to like run around your head, rather than thinking everything has to be black and white, which is what happens usually when you have borderline personality disorder, and then you get anxious if you have the two truths. So it's learning how to hold those two truths together, hence polarity.
yeah, right. Do you mind kind of touching on that a little bit? A lot of people
Yeah,
may not know too much about this, and I think it's an important
yeah, of course.
discussion to have.
Yep. So borderline personality structural disorder just means um, that I was raised completely fine and right and all of that. The only thing is that I struggled with emotional regulation and dysregulation and how I handled those moments. So, like when I felt dysregulated, I didn't know how to recognize that, and I would kind of freak out and sabotage my relationships, and get depressed or do something really crazy and whatnot. That just wasn't healthy or good for me. And then over time I've learned like this isn't a normal feeling, and I went and got help. I went to counseling, did a fair bit of therapy, and
Mm.
um yeah, it's been really helpful. So
Well, most importantly, mate, congratulations on doing the work,
thank
because
you.
it's like everything, it's a work in progress. What's normal?
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
such thing.
exactly.
We've all got something different. We've all got an
Yep.
epic talent. This happens to be yours. God, you got some pipes, man.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super powerful. It's got a to me, it's got a real tool feel to it as well, which
yeah,
you'd be honoured that kind of represents
yeah,
such a great band. But just talk to us about some of your other influences there. You touched on playing in a Foo Fighters band, which is a big influence rock wise. But kind of who else is maybe your early days of music? Kind of who really inspired you, and maybe who's
yeah.
inspiring you now on that journey?
I've always been inspired musically, like from before I could remember. My mum tells this story when I was little at daycare. She got in trouble because I was going to school teaching everyone lyrics to Pretty Fly for a White Guy by The Offspring and whatnot. So she was quite young when she had me, and I remember listening to a lot of 90s rock radio. So there was like Creed, Pearl Jam, Matchbox 20, Offspring. Um, I went through a lot of phases genre wise. Like, I lived in Blaney for a bit. I had a few country phases there. I've had my pop phases, boy band phases, all of that.
Mm,
In high school, I really kind of glued onto punk rock, and I really glued onto like Rise Against and Authority Zero, Cog, all and like a lot of prog rock and a lot of those kinds of bands. And then I realized that my love for music was bands that inspired high energy and power and really spoke and would just like roar and open. So now it's like While She Sleeps are up there. Trying to think of some other really just incredible bands, basically. But
yep.
yeah,
And what about vocally for you? Who is it for you now?
it's always been Tim McElrath from Rise Against for me vocally, and I don't
Sure.
think anyone can ever match his vocals. He's got such a unique voice. I do have a System of a Down tribute that I do as well, which has actually taught me a lot vocally to be getting to Surge's level of energy and then doing Dave Grohl's energy and whatnot. So yeah,
Great. Great to hear. So many of those experiences, you can kind of feel those flavors in amongst the way you sing. But yeah, really cool. It's an incredible instrument that goes underrated, in my opinion. the
Oh,
power of
definitely.
voice.
Yeah.
And very hard to switch kind of front men or front ladies, whatever, in a band. Hearing that
Yep.
voice, whether it be even a second harmony that people are used to, hearing that female voice come through or
Yeah,
ring
yeah.
through, it can be like a screaming guitar or another element or so. Mate,
That's that
there's
extra layer.
definitely can't miss your voice, that's for sure. So,
Cheers.
all right, here we go with Into the Void. Pretty powerful, that one, Into the Void. Jesus, some strong lyrics in amongst that. Talk to me a little bit about that moment of being aggressive enough in the song,
Yeah.
but finding that kind of melody in that feel as well, and how you strike that balance kind of through, during that writing phase and then also into production with the band. I've always
Yeah.
interested in how the lyrics kind of sit in amongst those.
Yep. Um, so I've been in like a few punk bands and hardcore bands building up leading to this. And I've had points like I've learned to scream quite a bit and how to do it safely and whatnot over time. But it's actually something that I like to do sometimes. And I say that like if you've ever done drama class or if you haven't, basically what they tell you in high school is when you do drama, you are allowed to swear in your acts as long as it is like relevant to the content and context, as long as it is like, not just like you can swear whenever you want and just go hammer on it. That's kind of how I treat using screaming as opposed to like finding melody. And I find that you can definitely relay your message across. You can send your message across without having to always scream. If you know the tones to use, if you use desperation, if you use pleading, if you use that, but like power and just like really like that desperation, if you find that like really in the pit, then you can still have the same effect as screaming would, just without having to do it.
And there's obviously the visual component that comes. You talked about the drama side of things before, but that's a really important on-stage presence. How do you kind of manage that with, being 5-piece on some small stages? Are you in amongst the crowd kind of guy?
Yeah, I try to be a little bit. Depends on the length of the mic lead that I've got and how many
Yeah,
leads are
sure.
running on the stage. I've had moments where I've tried to kind of like move into the crowd and I've lost a lead. And I
Yep.
remember this one gig I did about 10 years ago. I was playing guitar on a song and we lost the lead for 11 minutes and we're all trying to find it in the dark. Like we just had to stop mid-song in the middle of this gig. Like it was ridiculous. So I've kind of had a bit of traumatic experience from that. But also I am building my confidence to move in through the crowd a little bit more, to not be the guy on the stage, and particularly with the smaller stages, like if someone has to sacrifice the space, I'll be the first up to be down on the floor, and I'm happy to do that. Like I think more often than not, vocalists do get a lot of that stage-like presence, so I think to be down in amongst it actually works a lot better for us, and let those guys really just get to enjoy what they do and be up there on the stage and do all that. So.
Yeah. Obviously being known as a pretty high energy original Australian rock band, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about. I just want you to use 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe Razorburn?
Powerful, deep, and still fun. Like I'd put fun in there.
Great.
Like, yeah.
Does
Despite, I was
that
just
get
gonna say,
overlooked? Is it a little bit these days?
yeah, I think it does. I think like I take a lot of my lyrics seriously. I take a lot of what we do quite seriously, but there has to be a point where you're still enjoying it as well. Like you don't do music for like you can do music for whatever you want. Everyone's got their own reasons, but if you really just enjoyed it for the love of it and like the playing live and the recording and the releasing and doing all of this stuff, then it is fun. And you see that energy in the band when we're off the stage and we're all chatting and whatnot. Like there's actually this kind of like joking camaraderie, brotherly type of love going on behind the scenes. So
that's good. Great connection with the band, most importantly.
Yeah.
Just on that, what's the must-have on the rider?
The must-have on the rider.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that expression before. Sorry, man.
So obviously a rider, meaning what the band gets effectively, backstage or whatever, whether it be the beers or whatever. Is there something that kind of must be on that list for you guys?
Oh yeah. I think beers are usually preferably there for most of the guys. Shannon, our lead guitarist, doesn't drink. I've cut back a little bit myself these days.
Yep.
Other than that, I don't think there's much on the rider at the moment. Fun.
Good.
Band.
So we can add over time as more gigs progress. And obviously that dive bar scene, very underground. A lot of people don't know of some of these bands, which is kind of unique and cool. Have you found that? What's probably one of the weirdest ways that you've kind of been discovered or found, or someone's seen you or heard of you?
I've been recognized, not from Razorburn, but I've been recognized in Canberra through tribute bands, but then like just walking around Canberra and people go, "Hey, you're the guy that does the System of a Down thing." And I'm like, you get recognized for that? Like, like that's, it's been a little bit off-putting. Yeah. It's cool. Like it's awesome, but it's just like, oh, okay. Like, yeah. So.
And look, I think I know the answer for this, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. The difference between playing originals to covers as tribute bands, and then the uniqueness of being putting your own music out there. Have you kind of got a lean towards, or are you really happy and content with a good mix of those?
These days, I'm happy with a really good, and content with a good mix. I do still always preferably lean towards the original, just because that was always kind of like the thing I wanted to do from being a little kid. Like I just always wanted to make my own songs and for them to be heard and felt by other people and to be recognized. But I have found a lot of just fun and being able to rock up and play those tribute nights that we have, and people sing it back to you because they already know the words. They already, know the songs, and they have a pre-love for the song. So you feed off that energy and you get big crowds and whatnot, and it becomes a lot of fun. So you do that for the fun, but then the originals I still prefer just because it was always like what I lent towards from the beginning anyway. It's my origins, so to speak. So.
All right, we'll give you a chance for a breather, and it seems like the right time to play Out of Breath. Here it is.
Sounds good.
There you go. Out of breath. We're purposely cutting all these short so you can get out and do your homework, and most importantly, check out the rest of Razorburn in full. But yeah, that's a great driving, punchy track, mate. Plenty of energy. There's no short of thunderous drums, blistering guitars, all the great terms that we love to hear, and big anthemic choruses as well. So it's exactly how a band should be, in my opinion. But which element most in particular is kind of helps spark, a new song when you guys are writing or putting together something? Probably you're kind of speaking on behalf of the band as well, but probably you as a lyricist as well.
Yep. Very briefly, so I think Luke has a riff or something, and then he just builds upon that riff as you normally do. Him being a guitarist, so whether it's a rhythmic riff or lead riff or something, he'll put that into the computer and then just build all the other music around it. I like to try and change up what I do as far as like where my lyrics come from, because I find if I continue the same pattern over and over, eventually I'm starting to write the same song. So if I find that I start to do that, I'm like, all right, I need to shake things up. So I might look for a book. I might go watch a movie. I might go for a hike somewhere way out where I will step back and away from the music sometimes and just really think about other things and what's going on in my life, and then like go, oh, that's what I want to write about right now. Like, this is what I'm feeling, or you know, and I do that kind of searching, kind of just shake it up a bit.
And the weirdest place a lyric's come to you?
Well, you can't say the shower because every lyricist says that now. Like, we all have them in the shower, and the shower's the worst moment. You'll be there and you're like, oh, that's the line. I need to get out right now. Like, you know, I've still got shampoo in my hair, but that's the line for this song. Possibly. God, I actually don't know the answer to that question. I can't really, like, I've been a lot of places. I've done a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything that stands out other than maybe on the toilet at work about 9 years ago when I was working for my old man as a laborer. And I, you know, used to, like, I went to the bathroom and I had these lines just going through my head, and I'd be down on my notes on my phone for half an hour writing these lines. Sorry, Dad, for wasting the company's time and money, but
well paid for, Dad.
Stuff that I had to write down. So.
All right, let's flip that script a touch, and if there's a place that I could send you now to lock in and write a track at least, where would you love to go and write a track?
Oh, damn, that is a good question. I really like being sent off alone and to like empty, vast spaces. I think anywhere that's just like empty, open, outside, where I'm not going to run into anyone else. Possibly dusk. I love, you know, that kind of edge of night kind of feeling and whatnot. Could be up on a mountain, out in a field that's just like spread out for miles with nothing, middle of a forest, whatever. I think to be somewhere where I'm not going to run into someone and I can just like listen and feel the energy in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Surrounding.
And that feeling of when you write or put that lyric to a song, send it back to the guys. Obviously that you guys aren't writing in the same room necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, what's that kind of feeling like? It's kind of, I wouldn't say rare, but it is unique to some degree to this band, where the band kind of puts together the track behind and you get to lock yourself away and nail some magic.
Yeah. At first it was a bit nerve-wracking because like Luke and I hadn't even met face to face or anything like that. And it's always nerve-wracking as a vocalist when you're taking on other people's work and then you're like, oh, is this what they're hoping for? Is this what they want? Like, you know, I hope this works out well and whatnot. But then after a while, like when you get that positive feedback and go, yeah, no, this is really good, or this one doesn't quite work, you kind of start to get used to that a little bit. But then you're like, well, this is definitely what I feel for the song. This is the right melody. This is the right lyrical line for this moment. Like, this is what the whole thing can be built off and up and around. So this is like what I'm committing to, and you really kind of lean into your own way of doing it. And then I find the more I relax, the better the tracks perform and the better the feedback I've gotten. The more I just go, oh, this is the catchy part. This is like the hook part. So.
Righto. All right. Well, speaking of hooks, preach to me. Here it is.
All that
There you go. Preach to me. Let's face it, we don't like to be preached to generally,
No,
as a general rule, but this song in particular, it's got some great light and shade to it. Some of those magic moments that I think give it additional power is when you just drop it back, everything drops, and everything
yeah,
kind of kicks in different parts again. You know, those kind of moments, I call them those kind of moments that you remember in amongst the show, and don't give too many anyone really in the band a chance to breathe too much. But it's those moments of silence that I don't think are done enough these days in songs. But have you got any kind of other songs in amongst that moment? Like, where are you guys kind of heading as a band? You've done some recordings now. You know,
yep.
how do you kind of feel like you've found, or do you feel like you've found your kind of level now?
I feel we've kind of found our level. So funnily enough, Preach to Me was actually the second song I wrote for the band after Point of Defeat. I kind of went for those two darker songs first because that's what I was really feeling at the time that I was jumping into this project.
Yep.
They stuck out to me. But then Daylight was actually the last track that we did on the album, and I feel that's where we've really come together, and like you can hear how well we've kind of balanced the sound and found that energy, and that still has those moments that drop back. But we actually have a full second album ready to rock. Literally, I've started writing lyrics for it, starting to do the vocals for it now. Yeah, so we've definitely found our groove, and we kind of just keeping things simple, like keeping that structure of how we do things quite straightforward. Nothing too. It's not necessarily wildly out there, not experimenting or anything, but it's just like, you know, don't fix what ain't broke, kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Great
yeah.
call. All right, we heard the second song you did. Let's play the first one. Point of Defeat. Here it is. There you go. As it's absolutely pouring down on my tin roof, so I'm hoping you can't hear too much of that in amongst this. But um, yeah, point of defeat. Well, what is the point of defeat for you?
I think that in that question itself was the point. Is just like it's that moment where everything's just crashing down on you. You feel like you're never going to get back up again,
Yep.
and most people, not most people, a lot of people would go, "Oh, what's the point in getting back up?" And I want to challenge that and go, "Well, what's the point of staying down?" If you're going
Sure.
to ask that, you may as well ask the opposite. Like two sides of the same coin. If you're
Yep.
stuck in that moment, what's the point of just giving up? Why not push and see what happens when you push back? So
That's great advice, mate. And just on that, kind of, is that something now you've adapted in amongst your life, the lessons you've learned in amongst your, journey so far? Yeah, it's not all bad news, right? You can go
no,
through moments of
yeah,
bad news, bad feelings, all those things, but
yeah,
at some point, that sun's going to come up again,
yeah.
and it might be that call, whatever you make, to call someone that drags them out of that bad space as well. So,
Exactly. It's definitely a reflection of that. And I find, as I was saying before, the music that has struck out to me through life has been the one that's the stuff that's about power and resilience and pushing back when things get tough and when things get hard, and just still being the one standing there in the pouring rain when someone needs you to lean on or whatever. It's like about still being there. And that's, for me, that's my meaning of life, is like, being the person that just is there when things get hard. And so just, yeah, with that point of defeat thing, it just incorporates everything that I've loved about music. So I
yeah,
really just went open and hammer on that.
perfect. All right, let's touch on band name,
Yeah.
Razorburn.
Actually comes from a Lagwagon song. It's,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
we're all fans of punk rock and kind of that punk from Lagwagon, Nose for a Name, Old School, Rise Against, all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So Luke had the name before I even joined the band, and no one's contested it. We're all happy with it. I've kind of taken on with the meaning for it. I like to think like because I like to get a little bit personal and political and whatnot. That it's about you know feeling that vague burn. It's not like it's not like being a complete fire or anything, but it's about making sure that you heard and making sure that you felt and that you're irritating the system, that you're irritating the things that are wrong in life, and not letting it just cruise along and not do anything about it. So
Yeah, great call. Challenge the norm is the
yeah,
bottom line, right? Yeah.
yeah, change the narrative.
Yeah. All right, let's talk first impressions for a second.
Yeah,
And if someone out there was to discover Razorburn
yep.
through only one of your songs, now I know this is a hard one in respect of which baby's going to be your favorite, right? But is
Yeah,
there
yeah.
one at the moment that's kind of that one track, and why is it that one track for you?
I know what my one track is. I feel it's going to be different for everyone. And I had a lot of feedback from a lot of different friends and family about the tracks that they loved, and it was very different from everyone. So,
Good.
um, so I'm just going to pick the one that I know. If I wasn't a part of Razorburn, but I'd heard it, would be the one that won me over. Personally,
Yeah,
would be
what would you
Daylight.
want to be known for? Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be Daylight.
Okay.
Straight up. So,
Perfect.
just yeah, it's a great song, that one.
Well, the good news and bad news is we're not going to play
Yeah,
that
no, that's
tonight.
all right.
But we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
we're gonna leave you hanging out there, audience, to
Go
jump
look for
on
it.
and check
Yep.
out Razorburn, and make sure you find it, because Ethan's favorite. It's a must listen to. So, yeah, all right. Let's finish with Safe, because that's always a good place to be.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, let's listen to this one. Playing it safe, hey? Are we?
I don't know. How do we play it
Mm,
safe?
exactly. What's safe these
Yeah.
days? It's a
Yeah.
whole mystery, isn't it? It's what
It
is
is.
safe is getting together and listening to music together in a great environment,
Yeah.
and exciting times that you guys have got coming up. Also for this
Yep.
one,
Definitely.
um, Metal Warriors. Talk to us a little bit about that one coming up in March.
Yeah, so this is our next gig on March 14th. We're playing Wheat, Wine, and Whiskey. You want a bit of a tongue twister? Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is part of the Melbourne Metal Nights, which is a bit of a series of events. I think this is, I don't know what number this one is. It might be 7 or 8, maybe 9. But yeah, so we're playing with Gas Thief, Grimlock, Hard Mercury. As you can see, there's going to be a DJ there playing some classic metal hits throughout the night. We are really keen to be jumping on this with such great local acts as well. But yeah, cheap tickets pre-sale, $25, or get them at the door for $30. So
Perfect. And a fairly new venue,
yeah,
which is really cool. Wheat, wine, and
yep.
whiskey in Collingwood.
Keen to be
Getting
supporting lots of local new venues as best we can, keep the scene alive.
absolutely. Sadly, well, the good part is that's a new one.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
plenty of ones that are going by the wayside, unfortunately. So,
yeah,
thank you to every venue out there that's kind of still pushing and pushing through.
yeah,
Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for putting on live music. Largely goes unrewarded to the venue a lot of the time.
yeah,
The market's kind of very much changed, or human life has changed. People aren't there in drinking like they used to at bars as much. But most importantly, I'd love to see people connect and get to it, see a band, grab a mate you haven't seen or spoken to for a while, get them
yeah,
along to a gig. Just discover the power and the beauty of being transformed again to a place to forget about life's problems for a while and just enjoy that power of having that voice in your head that is live music. It's fantastic.
yeah. I've had a few friends that haven't gone to live gigs up until recently, and I've dragged them along to some stuff, and they've gone, dude, I forgot how good it is, and it's inspired me to go do music as well. Like,
Mm.
so even if you think you're like, I've been to live gigs before, whatever, each live gig is different. Go, you might find something new, inspirational, could be anything. You never know.
Yep.
It's an adventure.
Absolutely. And most importantly, don't just get there for headline acts. Try and
Yeah,
get there for supports. That support's really important to some of those emerging bands. And sometimes you get a duo or a solo artist that's performing as part of another band or from another band that blows your mind when you
yeah,
hear them in a different environment. So please get out there and support everyone that is playing live music. The venues really need you right now, but also the camaraderie of people. Most importantly, let's kill this online as we, ironically, as casting a show online.
yeah, yeah,
That's the benefit of music and getting people out there. But that online presence is important, and really important in today's society. But it's
and mix
also
it up
about
and take a break
getting
away
out and
from
about. Yep.
yeah, take a break away from the online sometimes and go just really appreciate the live experience.
Yep. So,
Yeah,
what are you kind of hoping for? Let's finish off with that. What are you hoping for Razorburn for the next
yeah.
kind of rest of this year?
So as I said, work on album number 2 has started. Definitely thoroughly underway. We've got a few more other gigs coming up past this March 14th one. We got one in April, one in August, and I think one in June. And then we're actually just starting talks about looking at some interstate touring in early 2027, which hopefully by then we'll have the second album. Don't know if it'll be out or not, but that depends basically on me at this point. But hopefully we'll have some new tracks already out by then, and we'll be able to play those as well. So
Perfect.
just
All right.
continuously building and traveling and making music, what we love doing.
Perfect. Well, don't put too much pressure on yourself, Ethan. Let settle back as a band and enjoy the moment of putting out this one that you have.
Yeah,
Getting more plays, getting more cut through, supporting other artists, being the
yeah,
difference between anywhere on a gig list is important, and it's really important that you're out playing it and enjoying the
yeah.
ability to play it live. So I'd like to just thank Ali again.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you
Ali.
for connecting us. You're doing some great things, Ali. Like we know, as you would appreciate, Ali, largely unrewarded, and you're doing it for the passion of driving local bands and original local bands as well. As much as we love support, when I say cover bands and support, that's really important because we don't always get to see the real thing in amongst that. But yeah, there's some pretty bloody good cover bands, and you're in a couple of them, mate. So keep enjoying that moment. I was lucky enough to see Foo Fighters a couple of months ago, and we connected with a couple of bands from that. November's going to be big. We hope to interview most of those bands that are playing as supports as well.
Yep.
And it's an exciting time to kind of put out music. I don't think there's ever not an exciting time, but it's really important in today's world just to put out a single or an EP. And if you're lucky enough to be able to put a full album out, all hats to you, because there's a lot of coin that goes into them, and it's largely unrewarded. So once again, thanks for joining me, Ethan, on behalf of the band Razorburn. Maybe the next time you guys put something out, we can connect a few of the boys together and celebrate it at some point.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right, awesome. We'll see you out there.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Great to have Ethan join me from Razorburn. So, look, I urge you, like I did before, to get out and see a band. It's really important. There's lots of free gigs, so it's not about cash. It's about just getting yourself out there. Drag yourself up off the couch, because I know what that place can be. It's a bit of a dark time for some people, unfortunately, that are struggling. Financial uncertainty, job uncertainty. Sometimes, there's a bit of pressure on life, but it's really important just to get out and transport yourself for 45 minutes to an hour, a couple of hours, and see a band, because it does honestly take you to another place. So thank you for all the bands, original or cover bands, that get out and do their thing. Thank you to the venues for putting this on. We really look forward to these chats. And next week we've got, on the 3rd of March, we've got Stimpy's coming up, which is really exciting. So we've got plenty of bands eager to talk about music, which is really cool, and their life's experiences. So we'll see you out there. Most importantly, enjoy the week and enjoy the weekend. See you out there.